ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. We have been looking at chapter 6, the beginning of chapter 6, the beginning verses, which talk about, which are part of the section called Bahiranga Sadhanani. Sadhanani, practices, means which are outwardly focused as opposed to Dhyanam, which is inwardly focused. And in the first two verses of the chapter, we saw that without Karma Yoga, without the practice of quietening the Ragadveshas, Dhyana Yoga, or the practice of Dhyanam as a means to make the mind sthira. Sthira means Nishchala. Nishchala means unmoving and steady. That is not possible. And so we saw the importance of Karma Yoga in the first two verses. And in the third verse, the third verse answers the question, how long should I follow Karma Yoga? Because every chapter begins with Karma Yoga and every chapter addresses this question of Karma Yoga. Then naturally, the seeker has the question, how long to follow this Karma Yoga? How long to be a Karma Yogi? And so is Karma Yoga an end in itself? We know better. It's not an end in itself. We know that. And then how long should I do this? So Karma Yoga, we know, is a intermediary sadhana until one gets Viveka, Vairagya, the sadhana chatushtaya sampattihi, which means Viveka, Vairagya, Mumukshutvam, and the six pack, which includes Shama, Dama, Uparati, Titiksha, Shraddha, and Samadhanam. So then the point is what? One outgrows Karma Yoga. That is the point. The outgrowing of the Karma Yoga is talked about in verse number 3, which we just saw briefly, but we haven't really looked at the meaning as well. So then, when the Vairagya etc. is acquired, then Karma Yoga is outgrown. Naturally, is outgrown, and so therefore and why is it outgrown? Because it has no room. There is no room for it anymore. I don't need it. Like a person walking on crutch. Why is the person walking with crutches? The person is walking with crutches because there is a problem in the foot, in the leg, fracture in the ankle, or some other problem is there. And as long as the treatment is going on in terms of the waiting, resting, and taking some therapies, physiotherapy, etc., then the crutches are required. Then after some rehabilitation and the strengthening of the limb, the ankle or the foot, whatever, then what else? Then the person is encouraged to walk with one crutch, not two. Then after that, you drop that crutch also, and then you practice walking and balancing without the help of the crutches. This is exactly the point. Nobody wants to be lifelong on crutches. So Karma Yoga is a crutch for the preparation of the knowledge. Once the mind is prepared for the knowledge, Karma Yoga is naturally dropped. It drops, meaning you don't really, you just you grow out of it. So drops means it's not consciously dropping, but it is understood as that it has done its job. Neither do we say Karma Yoga is useless for knowledge. We can never afford to say that, because without Karma Yoga, one cannot be equipped for knowledge. And neither can we say that Karma Yoga leads us to liberation. It does not directly lead, it prepares the mind by freeing one of raga dveshas. Just like one grows out of a toy. In the beginning, one has a favorite teddy bear as a small child, and the child holds on to the teddy bear. And anytime it is frightened, it holds on to the teddy bear. Anytime it is sad, it holds on to the teddy bear. And if the mother wants to wash the teddy bear because it is all dirty, it has chocolate stains on it, the child will not give because the child is anxious without the teddy bear. Then the mother has to calm the child down and say, okay, just like you take a bath, teddy needs a bath. And then with great cajoling and coaxing, the teddy bear is taken, given a bath, dried, and then given back to the child. Till then, the child is anxious. And then after the child grows up a little more, has more other things on the mind, like friends, hobbies, school, etc. It's no longer a toddler. The teddy bear is played with less and less. So the child goes to school, comes back, oh, teddy, wonderful. But then after that, the teddy is more or less forgotten. The child doesn't need it in order to be. Similarly, once Vairagya, Viveka, Mumukshutvam are stabilized, the Karma Yoga is not needed, because the Karma Yoga has done what its job is. And what is its job? It's the job of Antahkarana Shuddhi. That is what is the preparation for the knowledge. Antahkarana Shuddhi, the inner cleansing of the heart from the hold of raga dveshas. Then the person becomes ready, so to speak, to prepare the mind in a different way. Chitta Shuddhi, it has been achieved. And the next step is what? Chitta Naishchalyam. And so here in the third verse, this is what is talked about: the difference between the person who is still in Karma Yoga and the difference between the one who has finished the job of Karma Yoga is talked about. Arurukshuhu. Arurukshuhu means rohitum ichuhu, the one who is interested in the one who is interested in the Muni, the practitioner. Here Muni doesn't mean sage or the one who has understood one's nature. Muni means the practitioner, the sadhaka, the mananashila, the one who is of quietened mind. So arurukshuhu, for the person who is desiring what? Yoga. What yoga is it? Already a karma yogi. So what yoga? Dhyanam. See, the word yoga means many, many things in the Bhagavad Gita. So we have to be careful what it means here. So here yoga means meditation. So the one that is interested in or desirous of practicing meditation, karma karanam uchyate. Karma yoga is the means that calms the mind in order for one to be able to sit and meditate. Only after getting rid of being enslaved by raga dvesha can the person graduate towards practicing this quietude. So that is the idea. Then yoga rudhasya, whereas yoga rudhasya, here what is the meaning of the word yoga? Meditation. So the one who is already sitting on this, on the phala of karma yoga and yoga, dhyana yoga, one has already gained the quietude through the practice of karma yoga earlier, and through refining this meditation, etc. The one who has mastered the mind, so to speak, tasyaiva, for that person, shamaha karanam uchyate. What is left for the person to do? Shamaha means the samsara upashamaha. The shamaha is not as a quality to be gained here of the mind, but shamaha means the cessation of activity is what is advised. Meaning there are stages in one's growth, and those stages cannot be bypassed. So stage number one is, first I have to find out that something is not right in my life and something is going wrong all the time. Then I have to connect with this, guru prapti, all these things. And then after that, I have to prepare the mind for knowledge, manage the raga dveshas, and then I get chitta shuddhi, and the meditation gives me chitta naishchalyam, equipped with chitta shuddhi, freedom from raga dvesha, equipped with naishchalyam, freedom from unsteadiness of the mind, achieved through dhyanam. Then one is ready for atma jnanam. And then if one has all those things already, then what is left? What is left is to renounce everything, because that is the end of samsara. That is the end of samsara. Then, supposing one says that, I don't know the meaning of this yoga rudha. What is exactly yoga rudha? How do you describe yoga rudha? Because you just said for the yoga rudha, the one who is already mastered karma yoga, mastered the art of dhyanam, quietening the mind, there is no more samsara for them. Why? Because they have mastered atma jnanam. Even though it's not said, it has to be brought in. Because whenever preparation is mentioned, we have to also mention the purposes of the preparation. And what is the purpose of the preparation? Atma jnanam. So if the prerequisites of atma jnanam are gained, atma jnanam is assured. In the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, we have a sentence. In the Chandogya Upanishad, Acharyavan Purusho Veda. The one who has a guru knows. How can you say that? The person may want a guru for the sake of getting prasada. Nice things. One day you go to the guru's room and then one day you get chocolate, another day you get biscuit, and third day you get something exotic. No, that's not the idea. That's not I don't want a prasada guru. I don't want a blessing guru. I don't want a guru in maunam. I don't want a feel good guru. I don't want a guru for collecting and putting in the showcase. What kind of guru I want? A teaching guru. A guru who will teach me about myself. And so this guru prapti has taken place, and then what? The ignorance is dismissed. So the guru prapti gives phala. The gain of the guru gives phala. Phala means what? Results when the karma yoga has been practiced, when one has grown out of the desires. Otherwise, why one guru? You can have 10 gurus. One guru for every hour of the day that you are awake. Let's say you are awake for 10 or 12 hours, and so for all that, for the whole time, every hour you can change the guru, and each one can be more exalted than the other. The knowledge will not take place. So for the knowledge to take place, the inner disposition is extremely important. So then, how does one become a sannyasi? After studying with the guru and dropping all notions and allowing the raga dveshas to drop, and equipped with karma yoga and meditation, the mind is quiet, receptive, free of impurities. Such a person is called a sannyasi in the Gita's language, and such a person is called yoga rudha. Let us see that definition in the next verse. Yada hinendriyartheshu न कर्मस्वनुषज्यते न कर्मस्वनुषज्यते सर्वसङ्कल्पसन्न्यासी सर्वसङ्कल्पसन्न्यासी योगारूढस्तदोच्यते योगारूढस्तदोच्यते. Yada tada construction of the sentence yada and tada. Okay. So yada means what? When. When what? Yada na indriyartheshu anushajjate na karmasu api anushajjate. Who? Anybody. Purushaha. Anybody. So yada indriyartheshu न अनुषज्यते न कर्मसु अपि अनुषज्यते. That the same अनुषज्यते is qualifying both these things, indriya and karma. Okay, tada we have to supply. Oh, we don't have to supply. The tada is hidden here. So tada sarva sankalpa sannyasi, meaning the one who has renounced all intentions and all desires, and such a person is yogarudha. Yogarudha means what? Don't say sitting on yoga, that will not make any sense. Like in the translation, elevated in yoga, did he take a lift or something? Went from zero basement -1 to 10th floor. No. Yogarudha means liberation, liberated. That person is said to be liberated when these conditions are met. Two conditions are given. Na indriyartheshu anushajjate. Shaj means to attach, to involve, to be one with, to stick, to cling. So indriyartheshu means with reference to the sense organs, there is no clinging. There is a total absence of clinging with reference to sense organs. Sense organs are there by themselves. Sense organs are there by themselves, and then sense gratifications are not dependent at all on the availability or the non-availability of anything anywhere. The sense organs are totally not dependent upon the availability or the non-availability of the sense objects. Okay, this is something which is very, very important to understand. Usually, one's mood is dependent upon the availability of the sense objects to whet the appetite of the sense organs. Okay, to whet the appetite of sense organs, what do I need? Sense objects. We saw this in the Mundakopanishad, how there is a constant homa going on. There is a constant kind of a offering going on. And what is this offering? The offering is this is what is the sense objects entering the sense organs. That is like the offering. This is exactly the offering is there, and so the offering means I have to be aware of what I am consuming. This is the first step to getting freedom from the to getting freedom from what is that? Enslavement of raga dvesha. Enslavement of raga dvesha. From the enslavement of raga dvesha, one is free when one has some vairagya. So here, indriyartheshu na anushajjate, does not get attached to, does not cling to, or cling to what? Cling to the sense activities of the sense organs. Activities of the sense organs keeps going on. Doesn't mean that one has to buy ear plugs and plug oneself. Doesn't mean that one has to buy one eye patch and then close the eyes. No. The eyes are open and sense objects are entering. Ears are open, sound is entering. Eyes are open, color and form are entering. The nostrils are open, and then the nostrils, all the aromas, fragrances, and wonderful food, etc., is entering. So this is the one, this is the person who is liberated, because even though there is an overload of things entering, the person has walked over the I to Brahman cognitively. Before, the I was attached to the ahankara, and being attached to the ahankara, what was the person doing? The person was always worried, when will I get this, when will I get that, and pursuing various objects of desire. Now what has happened? The ahankara has quietened down because of karma yoga and dhyanam, and because of that, what has happened? The I has, with the help of atma jnanam, shifted to Brahman. Where is Brahman? One is Brahman. The one who is asking the question, where is Brahman, happens to be Brahman. Prashtuhu Swarupaha. The Swarupa of the asker of the question is indeed Brahman alone. So that is where Brahman is. Where is Brahman means what? Brahman is that itself. So then this is what has to be understood. So then so what happens? Yadahi na indriyartheshu anushajjate. There is no anushvanga, there is no connection between myself and the sense objects. And just like it was said this is just a reiteration of what was said in the second chapter towards the end. Apuryamanamatala-pratishtham samudramapah pravishanti yadvat tadvat kamayam pravishanti sarve na sashantimapnoti na kamakami. So just like the rivers enter the ocean without undergoing any change, the ocean does not undergo any change. The rivers enter the ocean without making the ocean bigger or smaller. Similarly, all objects of desire enter the mind through the various sense organs, not causing any change in the jnani. The jnani neither welcomes them nor shuns them, understands that this is just Indriya Vyapara. Indriya Vyapara means activities of the sense organs. Sense organs will do whatever they want. And sense organs are what? Mithya. What am I? The wielder of the sense organs. Satyam. In my presence, and who is this my? In my presence, in the presence of this self-aware consciousness, the Indriyas do their job. And their job is to report. There, something wonderful is there. There, some free stuff is being given. Here, some nice aroma is coming. They are just reporting. I have the ability to decide whether I am going to follow the report or not. Report is just there. It's just an announcement. So somebody announces, free stuff is being handed out. Where? In this Kali Kamliwala ashram, which is not far away from our ashram. In Kali Kamliwala ashram, they are giving a flask. They are giving this. They are giving that. So, if I am interested in it, then only I'll go. If I am not interested in it, I won't go. And this is what Pujya Swamiji used to tell a story. So like this, in those olden days, in the 1960s, when he lived at the very site where our ashram is constructed, he lived there in a small hut. You can see the hut in the photo gallery. I'm sure you have all seen it by now. And so the announcement would come through word of mouth. In this particular ashram called Kali Kamliwala, they are giving bed sheets. Come one, come all. they are giving bed sheet, they are giving blanket, they are giving this, they are giving that. Come, come, take. And then what? All the sadhus went. And then what? They called Pujya Swamiji also. You also come. And Pujya Swamiji said, no, I have a bed sheet. I have already 2 bed sheets. I don't, and now I have a blanket also. So I don't need what they are offering. I don't want. Why? Because I have them already. I already have them. And so therefore I don't need it. If I need it, then I will go for it. Whatever I want, I will go for if I need. If I don't need, then I will not go for it at all. So this is what is Indriyartheshu na anusajjate. So there is no feeling that if I want one, I want another, then I want the third one, then I want the fourth one, and then, and then what happens? I have to maintain all of them. Then I have to worry. Somebody will come and take away the extra things which I have kept. And so this is called Indriyartheshu na anushajjate. Does not get entangled with the sense organs at first, and what are the sense organs doing? They are reporting where the sense objects are. I treat them as mere reporters, thank them for their excellent and impartial journalism, and then I move on. Okay, if I need something, I take it, no problem. But if I don't need it, I don't go finding out what are they distributing. Maybe I can use it in the future. All this futurism is not there in the life of the liberated being. And then, this is the first one. Then the karmasu api anushajjate. There is no hitching the wagon with karma. Because if I identify with the karma, that means what? I am a karta, not akarta. I am a karta. And if I identify as a karta, then this is a recipe for misery. Total misery comes when I identify as karta. When I identify as karta, what happens? It's definitely a prognosis, a prescription for misery. The end result is misery. And there is no need to go into it further because we have done a lot of analysis of kartritvam and bhoktritvam, how Bhagavan is karta and bhokta. That is the first step to see this is karma yoga. Then after that, I am that Ishvara, and the falsification of the karta in the understanding that I am non-separate from the Ishvara. So then, when I understand I am not the karta, what happens to the karma phala? It does not come to me. This is as a result of Atmajnana. So here the person does not identify with the karma. So then if you don't identify with the karma, then what is there left to identify? There is no karma phala. Because I am not doing the action. It is being done through me. I am just an instrument. First stage. I am an instrument of Bhagavan in doing what is my swadharma, and whatever Bhagavan has put me to do, I am doing. That's all. That is the first stage. Then the second stage in this is that Bhagavan is non-separate from me. And kartritvam, doership, is something that is superimposed upon the I, and the I is totally free of the doership. Experiencership, bhoktritvam, is something that is superimposed as though upon the I, whereas the I is free of bhoktritvam. Just like the snake is superimposed upon the rope and a partially known rope, so too I take myself to be the karta when I don't know the I fully. I know I am, but I don't know I am Satchidananda. But here the one who is yogarudha is a jnani. Yogarudha tada uchyate. Why? The last reason is given here. Sarva sankalpa sannyasi. Free with regard to the pursuit of the objects of the senses. There are no this, what is that? There are no sense objects that I'm interested in. Not I'm interested in the pursuit of actions in order to gain the sense objects. So who am I? I am the renouncer of all fancies, Sarva Sankalpa Sannyasi. How to become the renouncer of all fancies. The renouncer of all fancies is the one what is that, it's a very scary prospect. Renouncer of each and every fancy. Prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogatan. This is the from the 50s onwards, 56 or something. In the second chapter we have this whole section on jnani lakshana. So, sarvan manogatan kaman prajahati. The one who gives up the fancies, the one who gives up the fancies, even as they arise in the mind, that one is called to be a sthitadhihi, a munihi. Atmani eva atmana tushtah. So this giving up, the giving up of the fancies and fanciful desires is very much connected to having a sense of satisfaction centered on the self, a sense of contentment centered on the self. If the self is discontented, then I cannot fulfill the first qualification. What is the qualification? Letting go of the fancies as they arise in the mind. I cannot do that. How can I do that? I absolutely cannot do that. So therefore what? So therefore the two have to go together. The letting go of the fancies is possible, is contingent upon a sense of self-contentment. And in the jnani, this contentment resting upon the self, because it is a product of knowledge, is absolute. The person is absolutely certain, I am Ishvara, I am non-separate from Ishvara, I am Satchidananda. This is who I am. I have no problem with this at all. And I know this for sure. And what is this? Jnana phalam, the phala of knowledge. The phala of Atma Jnanam, the fruit of Atma Jnanam is knowing that I am everything. And I am this very Ishvara that I seek. I am Ishvara himself, herself. This is what is to be known. And so, tada yoga rudhaha tada uchyate. Tada yoga rudhaha uchyate. This was talked about. And so, sarva sankalpa sannyasa. Yoga rudhaha tada uchyate. So, this is like the Bahiranga Sadhana section. And in the next 2-3 verses, Lord Krishna is going to bring out an important aspect of this Bahiranga Sadhana, which we don't know whether to call it outward sadhana or inward sadhana. Let us say it is both. It is kind of somewhat outwards and somewhat inwards. The inward meaning I have to do some witnessing and I have to understand what it is. Outward meaning because the manifestation of this sadhana is always seen in relation to other people. So therefore, this is what I have to do. And so therefore, in the next 2-3 verses, the Lord is going to address two very important topics. One is the one is a very important question. What is that? The Shastra says, and if I just listen closely to the Shastra, what does it say? You are Brahman. Then what's the problem? Nothing is the problem. Then why are you having such a long face? This knowledge is not coming to me. That's why I'm having this long face. Why is it not coming to you? Well, the introspective person, that's why I said it's Antaranga Sadhana as well as Bahiranga Sadhana. The introspective person will know the reason why there is a block, a pratibandha in the internalization of the knowledge even after repeated shravana. What is lacking is a certain self-confidence. That is what is lacking. What is lacking is the makeup, a kind of a makeup. This is continuing with the brilliant psychology of the human being in the Bhagavad Gita. We are going to see in the next 2-3 verses, very, very beautiful. So first we are going to see that the what is addressed is the dicey and the tree seed question. Tree seed question? What do you mean? Which came first, tree or seed? Can you answer that question? Say no so we can move on. Absolutely not. You can't say tree came first. Then how did the tree come? Oh, right. It had to have a seed. Okay, seed came first. Where did the seed come from? Another tree? Exactly. And then we'll be happily going in circles infinitely. This kind of an argument is called Anyonya Ashraya. Tree is dependent upon seed, seed is dependent upon tree, and then you can never, it's an infinite regress, and you can never come out of this conundrum. Somewhat similar is the situation between two people who are arguing. What is Baliyan? Baliyan means what is greater? Fate, destiny, or free will? Which is better? Which is greater? And then people who are on either side of this argument, they will vehemently protest and protect their own point of view. The proponents of the free will is stronger theory. They will posit by saying, look, yes, maybe there is a little bit of karma, but I have free will. Look, I was not relying on Bhagavan to make myself rich. I am a self-made man. Already a big problem when you say that. But somebody can say, I am a self-made man. And what did I do? I earned everything by myself. And one day I ate rice and dal. Second day I ate dal and rice. There was no variation. And this is what I have done. I have come up the hard way. No handouts, no help. Parents threw me out, or parents died when I was young, and the relatives did not take good care of me. Everything I did all by myself. Of course, it is free will. Otherwise, I would have been lying in the ditch like some of my compatriots, some of the people from my village, despite having a good background, despite having wonderful things to be and wonderful things to, wonderful things to expose themselves to, like knowledge, elders, guidance, etc. Nice home, comfort. Still, they are not up. Still, they have not come up in life. And so, free will, jai ho, free will reigns. What is this fate? Fate is for weak people. What is predetermined? Come on. Even if it is predetermined, you can change it. And they will quote one, what is that? Some kind of a poem. There is one Urdu poem. What does it say? Make yourself so strong that the Lord himself comes down and asks you, what shall I write in your destiny? खुदी को कर बुलंद इतना कि खुदा बंदे से खुद पूछे बता तेरी रजा क्या है. So the Lord comes and says, what shall I write on your forehead? What shall I write in your destiny? You please tell me what you want. So there is that side of the thing. So this is one extreme. There is nothing else except free will. Free will reigns. Free will, Zindabad. Free will, Zindabad. And then the other person is saying, the other set of proponents of the predetermined theory, what are they saying? What free will? Look at my life. How much I have struggled. You don't understand. My parents' life was also a big write-off, wash-off, and then my life also wash-off. Anything I have tried has become a failure. Nothing I have been able to succeed in. How much can a person tolerate? How much can a person endure? And therefore, what? We on this side of the continuum can't even open the eyes. We are very, very sad. On this side of the continuum, we are convinced it is fate. Therefore, we have become what? Fatalistic, which is actually extremely fatal for the pursuit of knowledge. So, neither this extreme nor that extreme. Where is the reality? Somewhere in the middle. The fate versus free will, which is one of the topics of the next two verses we are going to see, is that debate will never be settled, never ever be settled. Why? Because we don't know what we already saw in chapter 4, Gahana Karmano Gatihi. So, what is karma? It is very dense. We don't know. It is mysterious. Only Bhagavan knows. But then we cannot deny the role of free will in the life. Why? Because I'm making choices. Whether inadvertently or deliberately and consciously, choices are being made. I'm making the choices. I'm saying I'm going to eat this today. I'm going to go here today. No, I will not go for that today. I keep making the choices. And so, therefore, what? Therefore, there is such a thing called free will. But to what extent it is there, to what extent is the will free, that is a question. Because for two reasons. One is we don't know the karma, and second is the free will is always bound up in raga and dvesha. Free will is never free unless one prays or unless one is doing some kind of reaching out action. Even in reaching out action, there is some kind of a self effort there. But in prayer, the self effort, not effort, that came out wrongly. What am I looking for? Self gain is there. Some gain is there. I feel a sense of satisfaction because I have helped some people. But in prayer, there is no gain. Still, I pray. I just pray because I want to connect to Bhagavan. Even if I ask for something, what is the reason to ask? I could go rob a bank in that time, or I could do something else. But I choose to pray. In prayer, the free will is really free. The rest of the time, it is bound in the future. What to get, what to ask for, where to go, how to plan, and it is bound in the regrets of the past. Why did I do this? Why didn't I do this? So this is one topic that is going to be taken up. And then actually it has already been taken up because I've given you this very lengthy background. Okay, and so we won't say much more about it. So then, based on this free will versus fate debate, based on this free will versus fate debate, the people who are on this side of the continuum have to come down from their hobby horse. What is hobby horse? Hobby horse means that they are, they are thinking that they are the ones deciding everything. They are the ones making climate change. They are the ones causing the stars to shine. They are the one causing the planets to revolve. No. Then on the other side are these sad people who are drowning in their victimhood. They are drowning in the murky, muddy waters of victimhood because they have already decided that everything is predetermined and nothing is going my way. So, what should I do? Give up, cry, or just give up and commit a polite suicide. What is a polite suicide? It's not that I try to kill myself. That's not what is the polite suicide. Polite suicide means I just refuse to participate in anything. Apathetic. Oh, but isn't that what a jnani does? No. That may be what a jnani does, but I have no interest in anything. I have no, everything is done, everything is predetermined. Why should I live? Somehow I'm going from day to day, but this knowledge, who will get? Nobody will get. And there are such people who are what? Pessimistic. You show them a glass of water, it is always half empty. Such are the people. And you say, oh, look at this wonderful flower. Isn't this wonderful? This is the first flower of the season. Yeah, but look at all this climate change. It's destroying the weather. This flower will not be there for too long. Not only are they sad, sitting in their company, you start to feel, you start to question your own mood and you start to feel sad along with them. Oh, isn't it wonderful? This person gave me a box of chocolates. Look, have one. I don't eat all these things. Those days are gone. And I just have stopped deriving enjoyments from chocolates. I have vairagya towards chocolates. And actually, the person doesn't have vairagya towards chocolates. The person has vairagya towards Atmajnanam. That is one place vairagya should not be there. But that is where the person has vairagya, unfortunately. No hope. It's a kind of a shmashana vairagya, a hope, a vairagya born of hopelessness. Because of having endured loss, disappointment, discontentment, and dejection, the person does not feel like anything ever is going to change. The pessimistic person. So for the pessimistic person, this knowledge will never be even a remote possibility. Not at all. So what to do for this pessimistic person? That's why Lord Krishna wants to bring up these pessimistic people via Arjuna. Remember Arjuna in the Arjuna's fate, wrong word, Arjuna's situation in the first chapter. What is he like? He is sitting, he is hapless, hopeless, helpless. Jiva. Oh, why to fight this war? Kingdom, I don't want kingdom. Nakamkshe Vijayam Krishna. I don't want victory, oh Krishna. Rajyam bhoga sukhani cha. Neither kingdom nor enjoyment nor happiness. How do you spell that? He gave a long diatribe. Kinno Rajyena Govinda. What to do with kingdom, oh Govinda? Kim bhogena jivitena va. What to do with bhoga? Why am I alive? This is Arjuna's pessimism and everybody else's pessimism who get into this mood. Everybody is in the spell of this mood in the face of calamity. Definitely. But then one has to come out of it. If you don't come out of it, the loser is you. This is what is said in the next verse. And because this is a dangerous mental state, a very dangerous emotional state. And what is this emotional state called? Victimization. Self-sabotage by victimization. If other people sabotage your pursuit, at least one can take care of them and you can say, okay, it's not my fault, I'm having lot of obstacles, vignas. But if one saws off the branch, one is sawing the branch where upon which one sits, who can be blamed? Who can be held responsible? And such a mind is what is going to be put later on a diet of dhyanam, on a diet of nididhyasana after knowledge. If these very dangerous and fatal feelings, what are fatal feelings? Fatal means sealing the possibility of Atmajnanam. For Atmajnanam, such a mental demeanor is fatal. It will just kill Atmajnanam. And so, who is this person? A fatalistic person is addressed in the next verses. Let us see. उद्धरेदात्मनात्मानम् उद्धरेदात्मनात्मानम् नात्मानमवसादयेत् नात्मानमवसादयेत् आत्मैव ह्यात्मनो बन्धुः आत्मैव ह्यात्मनो बन्धुः आत्मैव रिपुरात्मनः आत्मैव रिपुरात्मनः. This is a very funny verse because the word Atma comes once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, 7 times. In a small verse of 2 lines, 7 times the word Atma is coming. And then if you take it to be Satchidananda Atma, if you take this to be Satchidananda Atma, then what happens? Then we may as well kiss the meaning of the verse goodbye. Here Atma means the body, mind, sense complex, not Satchidananda Atma. The Atma as it pertains to the body, mind, sense complex. So Uddharet means pick yourself up. Pick yourself up. Atmanam, yourself. Yourself means this one, the one that is the he, the one that is in this body, equipped with a mind, equipped with sense organs, equipped with all these things. Pick yourself up. Lift yourself up. Uddharet. How to lift myself up? By yourself. Oh, I'm all alone. Yes. Uddharet Atmana Atmanam. What is the object of this sentence? Atmanam. The Atma has to be picked up. The body, mind, sense complex. This person who says Aham, I. That one, the local I that is connected to the body, mind, sense complex, that is picked up. By whom? By the resident of the body, mind, sense complex alone. So one is the one who has fallen, one is the one who has to pick oneself up. How is that possible? How can the fallen person pick himself up? How can she pick herself up? We need some handout. We need a savior. Bhagavan puts an end to savior psychology once and for all. The need for a savior is what causes one to be a guru gazer. Keep on staring at the guru. Give me Atmajnanam. I'm feeling bad today. Make me feel better. You have to do the work. Even if Brahmaji came down from Brahmaloka and tried to make you feel better, even he could not. That's why he is not coming down. He has left the job to you. Why? Because for the person who does not want to be saved, then what can you do? Even if the biggest of saviors come, then it won't work. And besides, who needs to be saved? The one who is bound needs to be saved. But here, what is the premise of Vedanta? You are not bound at all. You are already free. You are already free. You are not bound at all. And so what is there to save? Who is there to save? Who is there needing to be saved? Nobody. But then the mind is in what are called the doldrums. Permanently heavy, permanently upset, permanently sad, permanently pessimistic. And now there can be many causes of this. Sometimes it's the circumstances and it becomes a habitual way of being which one inherits from one's family. Everybody looks like a sad donkey in the family. Okay, and then one being part of the family, I also have inherited this kind of a demeanor. That's one way. Another thing is that there might be something called like a chemical imbalance. Meaning some things in the brain, some chemical imbalances may be there, which are managed through medication. So if there are chemical anti-anxiety, antidepressant, etc., nothing wrong. because it is needed. It is needed to be able to be in a functional state as God intended. So therefore, I take this whatever I need. The Bhagavad Gita leaves the subject matter of chemical imbalances and structural imbalances in the brain, etc., in the buddhi, to those who are equipped to deal with that, namely doctors, vaidyas, neurologists, etc., psychologists, psychiatrists. The Bhagavad Gita does not touch on that topic. The Bhagavad Gita touches on the topic of this discontentment and this pain arising from not being able to manage samsara and being in the position of constantly going glub, 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 meaning those are drowning sounds, drowning in the overwhelm that is samsara. At least if one is already drowned, it's over. No, this is the present continuous, always drowning. This type of a mindset, the Bhagavad Gita addresses very, very virulently. And it is like one of those verses in the Bhagavad Gita, which is like a wake-up call. This person is not getting out of bed. I can't, I need help. Come on, you can. This person doesn't need the crutches, but even after not needing the crutches, keeps on using the crutches, keeps on looking for some emotional crutch or the other. This is the person addressed in the next couple of verses, because this is the person that should be told, help will come only when you first help yourself. Bhagavan is waiting for you to get up. Then only Bhagavan can bless you. Sleeping person, Bhagavan will not bless. Get up with your effort and then ask for the blessing. Oh, I am too weak to even ask for the blessing. This is very difficult. And so therefore, the first thing we have to be clear is that the Bhagavad Gita is not addressing conditions covered by chemical and other structural imbalances which can be managed by medication or psychotherapy, but the Bhagavad Gita is addressing situational depression. What is situational depression? The depression coming from the diffidence. Diffidence means lack of self-confidence about being able to manage, overcome various situations. This is what the Bhagavad Gita is addressing. Now, sometimes the chemical imbalance and this coexist side by side, and therefore I have to make this separation and treat first this all this, treat what is treatable, and overcome that depression. A depressed, suppressed, repressed, sad, discontented, demanding mind cannot gain this knowledge. Lord Krishna wants Arjuna, and through Arjuna for everyone to gain this knowledge. And so therefore he makes a very very forceful, he composes a couple of forceful verses here. Very beautiful. Just like in the beginning of the second chapter, Klaibyam masmagamaf partha naitatvayupapadyate kshudram hridaya daurbalyam satyaktvotishta parantapa. Hey Parantapa, the scorcher of enemies, look at you sleeping in the chariot, drowning in your own tears. Shame on you. Get up. This is not the Arjuna I know. This is not the Arjuna I know. You have been emasculated by your depression and your discontent. Come on. You have the ability to fight. You have the wherewithal to fight. You know how to do this. You got this, man. Come on, get up. This was the pep talk given at the beginning of chapter 2 through scolding, coaxing, cajoling, and encouraging Arjuna to get up and fight. And that same pep talk is presented in this verse. What is it? Verse number 4, I think, or 5. Verse number 5 of chapter 6. This same thing is given. What is the same thing that is given? Same idea. Pick yourself up. What are you doing? You have got this human life after so many births. And Lord Krishna already said, Bahuni me vyatitani janmani tavacharjuna at the beginning of chapter 4. Tanyaham vedtha sarvani natvam vedtha parantapa. You don't know all your births. I can see that you were a rat and that rat life gone, and then you could not get this knowledge. Then after that you were a brat, even though you were a human brat, you did not seek this knowledge. Like this, so many lifetimes from rat to brat have been wasted. Do not waste this life. Are you blind? Are you deaf? Can't you see that you have gained this life after so many years of tapas, so many years of longing for oneness with Bhagavan, so many lifetimes of this longing has fructified into an upadhi that is finally ready to be taught this knowledge. Because of Purva Punya, a chance Punya that fructified. So many other Punyas were clamoring at the door. At the door. Oh, I have to be. So many other desires were clamoring at the door, along with Vedanta desire. So many desires were knocking at the door. I have to experience this. I have to go rock climbing. I have to do this. I have to do that. Goat Janma, equipped for rock climbing and very sure-footed. So Goat Janma was competing with human Janma. But out of the grace of the Lord, human Janma was given. Durlabham trayamevaitat, 3 things very difficult to gain. Manushyatvam, human birth. Mumukshutvam, the desire to be free of the burden of feeling I am not worthy of this knowledge, I am not worthy of anything in life. Mahapurusha samshrayaha, Guru Prapti. And you have been so fortunate. You have got all 3. What is coming in your way? What is coming in your way? This is what Arjuna was told in the 2nd chapter. Now he is being told in a much more precise, concise way. Uddharet. Okay, you have fallen. Doesn't matter. A certain durbalata, even avatars are not exempt from. It is said that Lord Rama had a moment of discouragement. Suddenly seeing this, losing Sita to Ravana. And then after that, just being completely upset and discombobulated. And seeing the army of Ravana and how to fight Ravana, how to get back my beloved Sita, Mother Sita, how to get back Goddess Sita, he was having a moment of discouragement. That is when Vasishtha, sage Vasishtha, the guru of Lord Rama, gave this thing to chant, 33-34 verses, Aditya Hridayam. A shloka which honors the Surya Bhagavan, which invokes and honors Surya Bhagavan. So Surya Bhagavan is what? The Surya is courage. That light of Surya, inspiring. And that light of Surya I want. I want that light to dry out my wet heart, wet with unshed tears, wet with fears, wet with all kinds of disappointments. The previous disappointment piled on the another disappointment, piled on this disappointment, piled on this disappointment. The whole thing is moldy, and out of this inner mold of discontentment, disenchantment, disinterest, I feel victimized. And therefore what? You have to make the attempt. Uddharet atmana atmanam. How, etc. we'll see later. Let us just understand the verse properly. Na atmanam avasadayet. How? The first clue is given in the next line itself. Atmanam na avasadayet. the first way to pick oneself up from this very dangerous and tenuous situation, from this dangerous situation which is dangerous to me and to the gain of Atmajnanam, this victimhood, this self-victimization, this loss of confidence, this feeling like I'll never be able to achieve anything in life, I am a loser, this feeling. How to get out of this? First thing to remember is na atmanam avasadayet. This is the sadhana and the sadhya both. Never, ever, ever am I going to put myself down. Write this, stick it on the mirror, and write this on a piece of paper. Take some cello tape, stick it on the mirror, and look at that every day. Put it in a prominent place where you can look at it. This is a beautiful advice, and it is the truth of the self also. Never, ever, ever again I am going to put myself down. Never, ever again am I going to be caught in the victimhood. Never, ever again am I going to sabotage myself and saw off the branch upon which I sit. Never, ever again. This is the sankalpa one has to make. This is the intentionality. Because what is this I? What is this body, mind, sense complex and this ahankara? It is Ishvara. And if I think of myself as, oh, I am a useless being, how will I see Ishvara in the heart? How will this knowledge come? So one of the main preparations here, Bahiranga Sadhana, which is an important part of Karma Yoga, important part of Dhyana as well, the practice of Dhyana, is to make the decision. Even if you say, I will go away from that decision, doesn't matter. You repeatedly make the decision, I am never going to put myself down. You make a sankalpa, you tell it to your friend. And you tell each other, if you see me putting myself down, please remind me. And if I see you doing that, I will remind you. This is the true meaning of satsang. One is with like-minded people and one helps one another grow. But then why do I put myself down? I put myself down out of habit. It's a habitual orientation. Perhaps one grew up in an atmosphere where everybody put everybody down. Some families are like that. The food doesn't get digested unless they critique somebody else, unless they criticize somebody else. So growing up in the family, everybody put me down and I also put myself down. That is one possibility. Another possibility is because somehow I grew up in neglect and I grew up not believing myself, believing in myself. And then another possibility is it is the karmic residue, samskara from previous lives. Last life also I put myself down. This life also, what? This is the last life. I am not going to put myself down anymore. So, na atmanam avasadayet. Do not put yourself down, ever. And then the next advice, how to become this, how to lift oneself up from this dangerous situation, is to understand atmaiva hi atmano bandhuhu. He, because you alone can be your best friend. Nobody can be a friend to you like you yourself. You alone can be your best friend. Why? Because you know yourself. Relatively speaking, we are not talking of self-knowledge. We are talking of body, mind, sense, complex knowledge. You are the body. You know the mind. You know the senses. You live there. And so you know what you need. You know the mind. You know how to do this. And so, and therefore, you have to befriend yourself. And that befriending is a very beautiful advice that is given here. Befriend means what? Befriend means I have to get to know myself and I have to stop self-loathing. Here is another catch-22. Self-critique and self-loathing are the two reasons why I have come to Vedanta. And then what is given in the Bhagavad Gita? Until you stop self-hating, until you stop self-criticizing, Vedanta will not come to you. Until I have Vedanta, I cannot give up self-hatred and self-critique. Until I give up self-hatred and self-critique, I cannot gain Vedanta. It's like that fellow, the village idiot. So village is simpleton, let us say. There was a village simpleton who was, everybody knew that something was slightly off, developmentally challenged. They went to a local Vaidya. The parents were very worried. And then the local doctor said, he'll be okay. Get him married. Get him married. OMG. What kind of a directive is this? Poor lady who marries him. But fortunately, everybody knew, in not only in his own village, but in all the other villages, everybody knew this person slightly off. Nobody was willing to give their daughter to him. And so this is how we got this old adage. Until this fellow gets married, the madness will not go. Until the madness goes, nobody is ready to marry him. This is this kind of a situation here. A catch-22. What are we going to do now? Well, we have to see the difference between the relative and the absolute. Absolute cheerfulness, absolute lack of self-critique, absolute self-confidence, absolute self-love is possible only in the light of self-knowledge. But I can help myself get there by being relatively cheerful, relatively not putting myself down, relatively present, relatively not burdened by diffidence. This is the difference. So, what they prescribe these days to get into the place of relative cheerfulness is what is called a gratitude journal. An attitude of gratitude, where at the end of the day you write down 5 things because of which your day was wonderful. 5 wonderful things that made your day. And you recognize that these are all given. You are blessed. You have so many wonderful things to look forward to. You are not cursed. You are not been singled out. Everybody has some karma. Everybody has karma that they have to eat, that they have to exhaust. You have not been singled out. You have not been victimized. Ishvara does not hate you. And other people do not hate you. You also do not hate yourself. You just think you do, and just because you have been passing through a difficult time, you have internalized that as the truth of yourself. Now you have the privilege of dropping it. And one way to do this is what I have to tell myself. And one way to do it is to say, this too shall pass. What is this too that will pass? This situation which I am going through will pass. This too shall pass. This too shall pass. This is what it is. This also I have endured, it will go. I have endured more difficult things in the past. This too I will come out shining. And then there are many other sadhanas for self-love that makes one befriend oneself. Therapy is an important sadhana for self-love. The practice of yogasana is a very important concept for practice for self-love. Because when you can make yourself bend into various body parts, touching one another which can never touch, there is a sense of love and self-encouragement. And all the pain and everything, the memory of the pain that is locked in this pain body is released through yogasana. Yogasana is a recipe for self-love. Therapy is a way of gaining self-love. And pursuing hobbies such as music, drawing, painting, calming hobbies is a way of self-love. Oh, but I want to become a sannyasi, I shouldn't pursue music. That is later. You can't just jump into, PhD when you're still trying to master first grade. You can't jump into PhD. So here is where you befriend yourself by learning to do things that you like. Perhaps the person did not even know what they liked because the likes and dislikes were thwarted as a child, and one grew up very repressed. And to that person, oh, give up raga dveshas appeals very much. They want to just go like this to jnana yoga, because that's what I have done all my life. I have just given up everything, so I know how to give up. And if this is what the shastra is saying, then I'm there. And it doesn't work. Why? Because you can only give up after having and enjoying it. Yeah. When a king gives up the kingdom, it's a big thing. The beggar giving up a begging bowl is not a big thing. You have to have, you have to claim, you have to have, you have to enjoy, and then let go. You cannot bypass this, my dears. You absolutely cannot. Nobody can bypass this. This we have to do. So whatever it is that furthers self-love has to be pursued, has to be practiced, has to be enjoyed. And then after that, I let go in the light of the knowledge that I am not the music, I am neither the music nor the musician nor the award that I got because of the music. All this I can let go. But first I have to have it. And if I don't have it, I will be fighting with myself. I have to befriend myself through these mechanisms. Otherwise, what happens? Atmaiva ripuhu atmanaha. I become my own worst enemy. I become inimical to myself. I will always, that is what I said, the metaphor of sawing the log upon the branch upon which I sit. I put myself down. I am inimical to myself. I become my own worst enemy. But the choice I have is to, before that happens, to become my own best friend. This is what has to be done. A very beautiful teaching and a much needed transformation. And further we'll see. Let us see the next verse. Okay. Very beautiful teaching. Then the sixth one. बन्धुरात्मात्मनस्तस्य येनात्मैवात्मना जितः बन्धुरात्मात्मनस्तस्य येनात्मैवात्मना जितः अनात्मनस्तु शत्रुत्वे अनात्मनस्तु शत्रुत्वे वर्तेतात्मैव शत्रुवत् वर्तेतात्मैव शत्रुवत्. Same thing is being reiterated. So, bandhuhu atma atmanaha. The I am, the self, meaning the I, the body mind sense complex, the one who obtains in the body mind sense complex, the one who is the ahankara, claiming the body mind sense complex as I, that one is the friend of oneself who, yena, by whom this body mind sense complex has been conquered, mastered. So the mastery of the body mind sense complex is very much contingent upon making the Atma, making oneself, recognizing that one is one's own best advocate. One is one's own best advocate. One is one's own best friend. How do I become my own best friend? I have to master this self-love. For the one who has mastered this self-love, and self-love is not, we have to understand self-love properly. So before we go into this verse, Self-love is not like, oh, I'm cold, now I need this. Oh, I'm hot, now I need this. Oh, I can't handle this, so I'm going to go away. Oh, I can't handle that, so I'm going to not be around that. That is not self-love. Self-love means I have a sense of I. That I, which is the owner of the body, mind, sense complex, stands with its chest out and head held high. Oh, do you need something? I'm at it. Oh, are you sure you can do it? Yes, I can do it. Give me, let me go and do this. There is a confidence, there is a ojas, a radiance, a kind of an energetics. And then there is tejas, there is a brilliance. Oh, so everybody doesn't have tejas and ojas. They have tejas and ojas, but they are sitting on it and not letting it shine. They are hiding the tejas and ojas by sitting on it, and then they are looking for it everywhere. Oh, Bhagavan forgot to give me tejas. Bhagavan forgot to give me ojas. Get up, you will see it is right there. It is centered exactly on the person who is complaining. If you stop the rain of complaints, the sun of ojas and tejas will definitely shine. Definitely it will shine. How can it not shine? The sun is made for shining. If it does not shine, there is something in the way. And it behooves you to take this out of the way. So, bandhuhu atmana, bandhuhu atma, atmanah bandhu, tasya bandhu. The I becomes a friend for that I, for whom the ahankara has been conquered. Yena atmaiva atmana jitah. I have accomplished this self-love. I have conquered this. Anatmanahatu shatrutve varteta atmaiva shatruvat. Anatmanahatu, for the one who has not nurtured oneself and gained self-love, the Atma, or the mind, the body, will always behave like the enemy, will always be inimical to oneself. More we'll see in the next class. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.